26 point win in the end, but it certainly took you a long time to break Racing down. Yeah,
like you've got to be very respectful always. It definitely didn't feel like a 26 point win. We had some opportunities early, just snatching at things, not quite accurate enough, a little bit slow in some of our ruck arrivals. So, and Racing, to their credit, they're very brave defensively. You see how aggressive they are with their chop tackles, getting guys on the ground quickly, which means that they have players on the ball quickly. They come up with some big turnovers at different stages. And they're a constant threat as well. All the things we talked about sitting here yesterday, the pace that they have, some of the ball players that they have. So you just can't switch off for a second. But yeah, the start of the second half, then they score early. And yeah, it's a bloody tight game. But credit to our guys, I thought the composure was good, and we stick to the basics. Start carrying a bit better and start to recycle, start moving them around, and eventually we start to wear them down. So, but it took a fair chunk of time. But yeah, credit to the lads. I thought they stuck to the task well, and sometimes that's the way the game goes. Going back to playoff games, it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Where sometimes for whatever reason you're not quite on it, you've potentially given up a couple of opportunities or chances, but you just have to stay patient and stick and trust in what the type of game that we want to play, and that pressure will build and eventually you get the rewards.
First quarter of the game, you really looked like you were kind of playing at a real high pace. Do you think then that's where you get the reward in the last quarter, tired legs, and you run in 4 tries in the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's a fine line. Yeah, you don't want to be playing yourself into trouble either. So, yeah, we probably, we were definitely just a little bit off, for whatever reason that is. But anyway, when we come back together again for a knockout game, it's a good reminder for us, I think, to look back on this game. So I'm talking about when the next game in the Champions Cup is in 10 weeks' time, that you can look back to, okay, right, let's remember, start the game, how do you get yourself into the game, etc., etc. So, but again, if you find yourself in a hole, credit to the players. I think they managed to dig themselves out of it and finish the game strongly, which is good. But again, the bench added good impact on top of that as well.
Right, lads injured. Who came off? Josh,
Caelan, just you see his ankle, but he was very minor. He was running around fine, but in terms of we were keen just to get Ryan on, so that that sort of cemented that decision. Josh just a bit of a dead leg, but very, very minor now. Yeah, we're keen to get Scott on anyway. So great for him to make his Champions Cup debut. So nothing too major that I could see anyway. So
Leo, Leinster seem to be able to find that extra gear this year. And Jamie Osborne was saying, looking at the bigger picture and how they train as if every game is the last game. Can you say more about that?
Yeah, like the quality of training, I think, and how you go about preparing as individuals and a collective, that's what you see at the weekend, and so your performance at the weekend is generally reflective of how the week has gone. So, that's credit to coaches in terms of sessions that they are well designed with that in mind, and there's that bit of competitiveness as well, and whoever's not in the 15 or 23, that they're putting that positive pressure on. And Jamie's probably been that player in training, putting pressure on the starting 15, but now he's role reversal, so he's in the starting 15. So I presume that's where that is coming from. But you need that healthy competition, you need quality training to produce quality performances. So the group just needs to continue to work hard. But as it's been well documented, we've a fair chunk of guys will be missing now for the next while, and it's a different challenge now for the group because we're back to URC action next week against Cardiff, and and it's going to present great opportunities for a number of players to showcase what they can do now. So looking forward, we'll have a smaller group, tighter group, but I'm really looking forward to now, obviously this week coming against Cardiff, which will be a great challenge for us as a group, really good challenge. And then the period during the Six Nations where we've a bit of training time to keep guys progressing, a few games, and watching with great interest all the goings on in the Six Nations as well.